Hello, everyone. It's me again, and I wanted to do a reading for the collective. So, before I start, there are a few things that I wanted to mention. The first thing is the story of Prometheus. Prometheus is the one that took the fire and gave it to humanity and was punished by Zeus. Why don't I know the story now? Like, I do know the story, but I'm explaining it a little bit slow. Hold that thought. Why am I confused here? Anyway, let me just go through this real quick. It says here, Prometheus means thief of fire. That's the first thing. That's what the name Prometheus means. Anywho, it says the oldest record, stories of the thief of fire by a trickster figure and widespread around the world. Some other aspects of the story resemble the Sumerian myth of Enki, who was also a bringer of civilization, who protected humanity against the other gods, including during the Great Flood, as well as created man from clay. While the theory lost favor in the 20th century that Prometheus descends from the Vedic firebringer Matarisvan, I don't know how to say that. It was suggested in the 19th century, and it's still supported by some. Okay, then it says, a sacrificial meal marking the settling of accounts between mortals and immortals. Prometheus played a trick against Zeus. He placed 2 sacrificial offerings before the Olympian, a selection of beef hidden inside an ox's stomach, nourishment hidden inside a displeasing exterior, and the bull's bones wrapped completely in glistening fat, something inedible hidden inside a pleasing exterior. Zeus chose the latter, setting a precedent for future sacrifices. Henceforth, humans would keep that meat for themselves and burn the bones wrapped in fat as an offering to the gods. This angered Zeus, who hid fire from humans in retribution. In this version of the myth, the use of fire was already known to humans, but withdrawn by Zeus. Prometheus stole fire back from Zeus in a fennel stalk and restored it to humanity. This further enraged Zeus, who sent the first woman to live with humanity, Pandora. The woman, a shy maiden, was fashioned by Hephaestus. I think I said that correct. Hephaestus? I don't know. Anyway, out of clay, and Athena helped to adorn her properly. Hesiod, don't mind me for not saying these names correct, okay? Writes, from her is the race of women and female kind. Of her is the deadly race and tribe of women who live amongst mortal men to their great trouble. No helpmeets in hateful poverty, but only in wealth. For his crimes, Prometheus was punished by Zeus, who bound him with chains and sent an eagle to eat Prometheus's immortal liver every day, which then grew back every night. Years later, the Greek hero Heracles, with Zeus's permission, killed the eagle and freed Prometheus from this torment. Prometheus brings fire to mankind as told by Hesiod, whatever, with its having been hidden as revenge for the trick I don't know, works and days. Then it says, revisiting the story of Prometheus and the thief of fire in Works and Days. In it, the poet expands upon Zeus's reaction to Prometheus's deception. Not only does Zeus withhold fire from humanity, but the means of life as well. Had Prometheus not provoked Zeus's wrath, you would easily do work enough in a day to supply you for a full year, even without working. Soon would you put away your rudder over the smoke, and the fields worked by ox and sturdy mule would run to waste. I had to ponder that for a moment. Anyhow. Also adding information to Theogenes' story of the first woman, a maiden crafted from earth and water by Hephaestus, now explicitly called Pandora, which means all gifts. Zeus, in this case, gets the help of Athena, Aphrodite, Hermes, the Graces, and the Hours. After Prometheus steals the fire, Zeus sends Pandora in retaliation. Despite Prometheus's warning, Epimetheus accepts this gift from the gods. Pandora carried a jar with her, from which were released mischief and sorrow, plague and diseases. Pandora shuts the lid of the jar too late to contain all the evil plights that escaped. But hope is left trapped in the jar because Zeus forces Pandora to seal it up before hope can escape. Prometheus Bound also includes two mythic innovations of omission. The first is the absence of Pandora's story in connection with Prometheus's own. Instead, it includes this one oblique allusion to Pandora and her jar that contained hope. Prometheus caused blind hopes to live in the hearts of men. Second, I don't know how to say this name, Aeschylus. Second, Aeschylus makes no mention of the sacrifice trick played against Zeus in the Theogony. The four tragedies of Prometheus attributes to Aeschylus, we'll say it that way, most of which are lost to the passages of time into antiquity, are Prometheus Bound, Prometheus Desmodes, Prometheus Unbound, the Firebringer, and the Fire Kindler. The larger scope, as a dramatist revisiting the myth of Prometheus in the age of Athenian prominence, has been discussed by William. Okay, we don't need all that. General thesis concerns the rise of humanist and secular tendencies in Athenian culture and society, which require the growth and expansion of the mythological and religious tradition as acquired from the most ancient source of the myth, stemming from Hesiod. In a rare comparison, therefore participates in our universal unconscious sense of guilt. Freud called Oedipus an immoral play, since the gods ordained incense and parricide. Oedipus therefore participates in our universal unconscious sense of guilt, but on this reading, so do the gods. Sometimes wish that Freud had turned Aeschylus instead and given us the Prometheus complex rather than the Oedipus complex. I'm getting to something, people. Hold on. In Hesiod's, Prometheus stands for the ascent of humanity from primitive beginnings to the present level of civilization. Okay. I think that's it. That's all I got. All right. So with that being said, that energy is kind of making, I find that divine feminine, divine masculines, at least for myself personally, since the twin flame journey began for me, it has felt as if my fire was taken from me in many ways. And I guess it would look on the outside as if a loss of passion, a loss of interest, or even a loss of purpose. It just feels like, where's the passion? Where's the flame? You ignite your own flame by recapturing the essence of yourself. By ridding yourself of all that you're not, you find what you are. But I feel like that these mythologies, they do live within us and within our connections. And those stories are playing out. And if you pay attention, you'll see who's playing what characters. And I'm realizing that although there might be a select few that are consciously playing out their part in mythology in current real life, that meaning they are aware of the gods that live within them, or the energies, the archetypes that live within them, I find that there's possibly, for the most part, most people are not aware of the gods that do live within them. I can tell you that since I've been doing my metaphysical studies, my initial introduction was to the goddess Isis. I also had I guess you could say an initiation with Kuan Yin. But then there are other archetypes that I've resonated with that have, showed up within myself. Archangel Michael being one of them, very prominent. But that's not mythological, that's more religious, right? But when it comes to Athena is another archetype. Hermes is another archetype that shows up a lot. I mean, for the most part, the whole mythological theory, or not theory, all the characters of mythology do show up when you are embarking on a fool's journey. Technically, I think people don't realize how real the journey is, like how you actually do embody these aspects within, how these stories are actually playing out inside of you, and how if you pay attention within yourself, you can see the archetypes as they're playing out, or the stories are manifesting inside. Very interesting. But anywho, that was one thing. The other thing, there is, for some, there might be a masculine traveling and the flight doesn't go as planned, or like they missed the flight, or they confuse the time or the dates or something like that, or they can't communicate when they arrive, something like that. But that's for a small few, and that is more than likely a toxic masculine. And by toxic, I mean a masculine that it's not about his spirituality, just because I don't even like the term toxic, because it's not so much toxic. I would say maybe a sleep masculine or unconscious masculine. That's a better way to put it. Anyway, all right. So let's see. I want to kind of go with the flow with these cards and see just what comes up, and not be so stringent on the cards in terms of how I'm reading them. It's more of an intuitive thing. So here we have the Three of Fire. definitely balancing the two energies to create a powerful force. The masculine and feminine energies coming together, creating. Amazing how the first card that came out was the Three of Fire. This card represents the Mars, Sun, and Jupiter together. This is bringing together two flames to expand the flame. And then we have the Nine of Air. So you're expanding your flame, and someone might be feeling attacked by this, or maybe I think it startles someone or puts someone on notice or puts someone to feel a little bit concerned. Because it's more like of a mental attack. This is like the thought of this is bothering someone because they know that you're light and darkness. They understand that you're like a daughter of Zeus. And by that I mean you come with the sword of truth and you embody. This card represents to me like very beautiful Venus energies. Very loving. This is like Isis. Feminine energy that's graceful, beautiful, loving. But like the Queen of Swords, she can cut through the chase. She gets to the truth, and she accepts the truth of the realm of life and death. In other words, she brings life to those that are I guess you could say unwell. Yeah, you're showing up here like unbothered in terms of like you've accepted it's almost like you've learned to appreciate your lot in life, or you've learned to appreciate where you are as you are. You're not in any shame energy. You could have been outcasted or feel like an outcast, and yet you're thriving, you're smiling, you're dancing, you're enjoying your freedom, you're enjoying your unlimited resources that are allotted to you. You feel like there's a balance of emotions for you, like you've overcome emotional hang-ups, things that were keeping you, like the cycles of the moon were playing. Those energies could have been challenging, going through certain cycles. But once you understood certain cycles that were not yours to carry, or certain heaviness or certain weight that wasn't yours to carry, you learned how to navigate your waters. And now you have the Ten of Earth, which is complete manifestation of health, wealth, abundance, this energy of plenty. And then there comes the devil. It's like when you get into your energy of plenty, then there comes someone or something, some force that wants to, challenge it, take it away, make you feel like you're not there. Some kind of energy that puts you in a sense like you're at a crossroads. Like now you have to make a choice. But you're protected from this because you've done the work. You're protected because you've laid the foundation in order for you to appreciate your existence, appreciate the beauty of your life, enjoy the realm of your fantasy or the realm of your dream without being hindered or imposed by anything or anyone. And that has a lot of people, like little bird babies in a nest, opening their mouth, reaching, waiting for someone to feed them. But no one's there. And they don't know. They're just, like baby birds in a nest. When their mother leaves to go get food, they're left there. They're protected, but they don't know that. And when they're hungry, they're just asking for what they want, but they can't really do anything about it. And I feel like you're like the tree that is supporting these little baby birds. You protect them from the hot sun. You provide them shade. You provide them shelter. You provide them safety from predators on the ground. You're providing them with a strong foundation so that their nest is safe. And you're the foundation for the security that the mother bird basically can leave to go fetch food and bring it back to the babies. Without that energy that you bring of stable emotional stability, laying the foundation of that, this devil energy is looming over your abundance to put you at a crossroads so that you're not able to lay this foundation and be as emotionally stable as you are, like this tree is, to support the children that live off of that tree. I'll leave it like that. The peacock also is symbolic because it came out yesterday. I pulled it, and now I see it here showing up again. Light illuminates my path so I can see circumstances with wisdom. My physical and spiritual sight provides me with visions for understanding. I am highly intuitive. I have advanced hindsight as I see life. From a higher perspective, I am safe. And then the blue dyed agate is a crystal that accompanies the animal totem. And it says, are you interested in the mystical? Do you feel a connection with spiritual symbolism, visions, and the divine? Open your spiritual eyes to see with greater insight. Be watchful and alert to maintain a safe and sacred center for yourself and others. Take the time to make your own ritual to help you align with your inner mystic. So that's exactly the vibe I got with that card. I feel like your ability to see allows you to be this firm foundation, at least an emotional foundation for these babies. We have the Four of Air. So resting after difficulty, recovering. Like, I feel like you've experienced a lot of challenges, but you've healed, or you've been healed. You got the guardian angel card, and I feel like there was a lot of emotional healing that was given to you, and now you're able, with the Two of Water, it's like you're fulfilled within, that you overflow with fulfillment. So it's almost like your nourishing cannot be taken from you. Your nourishment now overflows, where you can nourish others without feeling deprived, depleted, or any of those things. Same as what you're attracting. You're attracting your mirror reflection. a counterpart that as you are fulfilled, so are they. And then we have the Two of Fire. I love that. The Two of Water and the Two of Fire. It's almost like this divine feminine energy is balanced. Equal passion with equal care. And then we have the moon here. And it's amazing because it shows like a crescent moon, but also you can see the full, so it gives you that contrast between light and darkness. There's a a sort of truth that it was like a sacrifice of the heart. It's almost like if your heart was sacrificed by the truth in order to see two sides of reality, the light and the darkness, or in order to know how to it's interesting how this card looks. It's like the light. Okay. From this angle, the way that the way that it looks, like the clouds look as if they're penetrating the darkness, but then you can see like just a slither of it going into the light of the moon. And it's almost as if your own light is coming out, and like you're filling yourself from within with your own light. There's someone that feels like an enslaved prisoner. Someone that has not yet moved away from troubled waters, or wants to move away from troubled waters. This is a younger feminine that is kind of like Athena, okay? She's a warrior. She wants to fight. She wants to go out there and lead with like justice. And I feel like this could be you, but this could be an aspect of you. You might feel like that part of you that wants to go out there and challenge the world. Like there's a part of you that feels trapped, and it's that part, the wild fire that you can be. I feel like the way this looks, the enslaved prisoner looks like they're stranded on this island on their own, right? Just looking out. It's a masculine. And then the Six of Air, you just see what he's looking at. He's looking at the shoreline. It's like, I just want to get off this island. I just want to get off and I want to roam free. Because then you see her in plush land with her sword ready like to take on the world, so to speak. So maybe for some of you, now that you have this emotional balance, now that you can see both sides of the spectrum very clearly, you want to be released to embark on new land. You want to, you feel like you have your shield, you have your sword, like you're protected. So therefore, you want to go out there and explore or take on the world. But then the Ten of Fire hits. And then it's almost like somebody saying, you see, this is what happens if you do that. Because all this scorched fire. And this man is like, look, this is what happens when you go out there in all this fullness, all this passion, all this fire, all this aggression. But you don't want to be under a rock and sluggish and like hidden in this like cave. Or this person feels like you're supposed to kind of like be more grounded, less fiery or less. And then you have Oshala. This is like, this god is going to basically come and, this is like your protector of peace. This is a like, again, this is a god of truth, a god of light, a god of, he's a warrior god, but he's also very wise. And he's watching this situation. And he's going to bring in a new idea, new information to liberate the fairies. I guess is to liberate your fantastical, whimsical aspects, the parts of you that are free and fun and playful and carefree, so to speak. Yeah. I feel like this God wants, in this peace offering, is to bring the fire. It's like to allow you to play with your fire in lightness, to use your fire in lightness. And then we have the 5 of Earth, which is more controlled fire. It's dark fire. So I feel like this God of Peace is going to bring in an idea of how to maintain your fire light and fun instead of bound, constricted, and dark, to avoid karma. And you're going to get help from the earth element. When you do this, you'll be able to create gold, like actual physical abundance in the physical reality. You're going to be able to grow things. That fire is going to help you grow things. But that fire, when it's playful and fun, versus this conflictive fire, will bring you karma. And so that's what this God is bringing you, this new idea of how to make the best, I guess, out of your passion, or make the best out of your fire, so that you can produce physical results that are tangible and visibly as wealthy as your energy is. Yeah, so you can create a land that is prosperous, a land that is well fed, well provided for, well stocked, just a land that is abundant and radiant. There's always going to be water creatures that will try to sink your ship as you travel through waters. And then there's this 10 of air. Yeah, those people that try to emotionally manipulate you, to drag you down, to bring you into waters, they're mentally overtaxed. It's like they can't take the heat. They're like in desert land where it's very hot. Okay. It's like there's 2 kinds of beings here. You got the water element that's trying to take your ship and sink it. Not to harm you, but more so they're protecting themselves, and that's how they know how to protect themselves. I just heard about these orca whales that are sinking ships as supposedly, I mean, obviously you never know on the internet, right? Supposedly this one whale, I think they named her Gail, and was it Gail? Something like that. And she was apparently so traumatized by a boat that caught her up or something like that, or scared her, to the point that now she formed like a underwater gang and has transmitted to them or conveyed to them, communicated to them to attack the boats. So they've already attacked like 2 boats or something like that subsequently. Anyway, I don't know why that's relevant, but it is, I guess. You might feel like this whale, like you need to protect your emotions and you'll take down any ship that comes to try to mess with you. Or as you're navigating waters, be mindful that there might be individuals trying to do that to you, as well as these thoughts that don't survive in this fire. Like, can you handle the heat? If not, stay out of the kitchen because you're going to burn. And I feel like there are individuals that the idea of you navigating these waters might have them in their head about it. I don't know why. Why would anybody be in their head about what you're doing with your body? The salamander. The salamander showed up as the element of fire, by the way, when I was looking up the stuff on Prometheus. And it's interesting because that's what you see. It's like within the water, you have this creature that's not fully formed, but it almost looks like not a lizard. What's that other animal? I mean, I guess a salamander, right? But I've never actually seen a salamander. I would assume that that's what this is here. But it's created by these flames of fire. So it's not fully formed. But you know how they say that water and fire are both in the yin? You have to convert your fire into water. Wait, now I'm going to look it up real quick because I took a screenshot, but I have to read it off for that. Oh, yeah. Trust me, it means something. I know it does. Look, fire during the winter solstice ceremony. Most worshipful grand national medal. Okay. Interesting. This is my grandfather's name. It says, at the Tlatelolco Conventions Center. And then it says, Manuel Gonzalez, 171, San Simon. All right, I don't know where that was. But anyway, this is a Freemasonry ritual, I guess. Winter solstice ceremony with fire. In Freemasonry, fire is present, for example, during the ceremony of winter solstice, a symbol also of Renaissance and energy. Freemasonry takes the ancient symbolic meaning of fire and recognizes its double nature: creation, light on the one hand, and destruction and purification on the other. I have to go. I got a phone call. I'll come back soon.